Welcome to another Yin recording from our Wednesday night live Yin and meditation classes. This class is focusing on the shoulders. Nice shoulder opening, really good if you're feeling stiff in the neck and the upper back. We do a little bit on the lower back and hips as well because, you know, it is Yin. If you haven't done Yin before, there's some links in the description of this video. Otherwise, just be aware that we hold the postures for 4.5 to 5 minutes. It's really nice and relaxing. At the hour point, we're going to do a meditation. It's our meditation of the month for May, which is a mantra meditation. Enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how you got on. But we'll begin with our alternate nostril breathing as we have done previously. So get yourself nice and comfy, seated position. Doesn't have to be cross-legged, but just get your bum on the ground. And just take a few shoulder rolls, maybe a few wags of the head. Just come into the present moment and shake off the day. And when you're ready to do so, let the eyes gently close. Or if you feel uncomfortable with the eyes closed, gaze past the tip of the nose. And just scan your body. Just see if there's any bits or spots in the body that kind of feel tense, or I know we've got a few little niggles today. So try as best you can to just connect with your breath now and let those areas just soften and ease. So even if you haven't got a particular injury today, but you're just feeling a little bit stiff somewhere, just mentally scan the body. With every exhalation, just try and let any tension in the body go. And so when you're ready, you're going to place index finger and middle finger of right hand in that third eye centre, so just between the eyebrows, maybe slightly above where the eyebrows point at each other. You're going to take ring finger and little finger of right hand and gently close left nostril. And inhale through your right nostril. Close it with your right thumb. Pause. Release left nostril. Exhale. Inhale through left nostril. Close. Pause. Exhale through right. Inhale through right. Close. Pause. Exhale through left. Inhale through left. Close. Pause. Exhale through right. Keep going like this in your own time. This is Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, particularly suited to a Yin practice because it balances Yin and Yang, left and right, active and passive, Keep going in your own time. The next time you exhale through your right nostril, release the right hand, take it back down to the knee. Keep your eyes closed and just notice any changes in your breathing. Just let the breath return to normal. If you can, you want to maintain this slow, smooth, steady breathing through the nose for the entire Yin practice today. Blink the eyes open. We're going to take some very quick, gentle warm-up movements of the joints before we leap into our first Yin pose. So take the hands to the shoulders, right hand to right shoulder, left hand to left shoulder, and start to draw concentric circles with those elbows. Just allowing those shoulder joints to wake up. Now keep that circular movement, but outstretch the arms. You can make those circles a bit bigger. Really swooping the hands, brushing the carpet. Now, when you get to outstretched shoulder height, we're going to change the direction. This might pickle your brain slightly. But keep that big circle. Start to narrow that circle. Make it a little smaller. Take the hands back to the shoulders. Draw the circles with your elbows instead. And then come to stillness. Release the hands. We're going to take right ear and just gently draw it down towards the right shoulder. You really don't need to do much here. Just keep the chin level, faces still, pointing forward. And if you get that alignment just right, you should feel a nice deep stretch in the left shoulder and the left side of the neck. Come back to centre and take left ear down towards left shoulder. Keep that face shining forward. Same stretch, opposite side. Back to centre. Just look up at the ceiling, really gently and slowly lift your chin. We're not going to dump the head back, just going to lengthen through the neck. And reverse that, so start to tuck your chin in towards your chest. Nose is drawing a straight line down. If you're chucking your chin into the chest, maybe the action is that the chin is coming slightly lower down the chest, lower down that breastplate. You should feel a nice stretch in the shoulders, the very top of the spine. And come back to centre. We're going to start our practice today in happy baby pose. So we're going to lie down on our backs. We want the whole of the back really resting on the mat today. So if happy baby pose is too much for you, you can just take your hands onto your knees and keep those feet just floating down. If you want to increase the stretch, then by all means, go ahead and float those feet. Eventually they're going to stack over the knees and you can take a hold of the shins, the ankles, maybe the outsides of the feet and the big toe. But we really want to keep as much of that back in contact with the ground today. So don't be in a hurry, just start at your kind of 55-60% of your full range of motion when you're doing your Sunday hatha class. Let the shoulders melt down into the mat. You don't need to flex the feet here, you can just let them kind of be soft, nice soft ankle joints. Face is soft, chin is tucked in so there's length in the neck. And we're going to rest here. So with every exhalation, feel that belly hollowing out and feel that lower back right all the way to the top of the bum. Just feel it sinking into the mat. At the same time, feel those knees just working with gravity, drawing down towards the sides of the body. So the hip joints should be really waking up now. Keep that stillness and focus. The hips are said to be where we hold our emotion in the body. So just be a passive witness to any feelings that come up while we're in these hip openings. Notice the feelings and then just let them go, release them with every exhale, the same way you release tension from your body. Draw those knees together. We're going to come out of this pose now. Just very slowly draw those knees, those feet together. You can even give yourself a little hug. Maybe rock from side to side. Just massage that sacrum. Then we're going to come up to seated position. So you might want to roll over onto one side and push yourself up. From that seated position, our next pose is going to be child's pose with a stretch in our shoulder and our pec. So we're going to start in child's pose with the feet touching the knees out as wide as the mat if you've got one, so slightly wider than hip distance. If you need to, you can place a cushion between the bum and the feet. We're going to walk our hands away from the body. Then we're going to take right hand and we're going to slide it out to the side like we're making an L shape with our hands. Now, it's yogi's choice here. You can either take the face and rest it on the mat looking at that outstretched hand, or if you want to deepen the posture, you can actually turn and face the other way, pick left hand up off of the ground, and just rest it on your lower back. So back of left hand rests on the right side of your lower back. You might find that this gives you a slightly deeper stretch in that chest and the front of the shoulder. I'm just going to take a look on the monitor. Okay. So we're not going too deep here today. We're just going to have a really good rest in this stretch and just let the time and the posture do the work. So just notice if maybe you've created a little bit of space in the front of the body now that we've been here for a while. You're still going to be feeling this in your hips as well, because we're in this wide child's pose. So stay with it. Stay with that smooth, steady breathing. So very gently now, if you've taken the left hand to the lower back, just bring that left hand back by the face, resting on the ground. And push yourself up a little bit as you slowly draw that extended right arm back in. Bring yourself up. Just take those knees together. You maybe just want to give yourself a little bit of a wiggle in the waist before we take the other side. Now, if you feel like this has all been too much on your hips, take that option with a slightly higher position of the bum. Or if you want to, you might want to place something to rest your chest or rest your head on so you're not bending down quite so far. It's up to you. But when you're ready, come back into that child's pose. Take left arm out to the side. And if that feels okay, you can turn the cheek. So left cheek comes to the mat, face is pointing in the opposite direction. Right arm can swoop around the back of right hand, resting on the left side of your lower back. If you're tight on space today, so my left hand is just tickling the skirting board today, you can always take a slight bend in that left extended arm. Just keep the kind of tension in the muscle. So you should still feel that therapeutic edge stretching. Carry a lot of stress and tension in our shoulders, particularly if we're feeling anxious or worried. Our posture just goes into that kind of hunched up, tight position. So these shoulder opening classes are a really great way to just let that tension melt away. You might also be feeling a stretch in the shoulder of the hand, the right arm, where you've got the hand behind the back, if that's an option you've gone for today. Just be mindful of those sensations in the body. There should never be any pain or pins and needles. It should always be a sensation that you can breathe through. Very gently now. If you've got your hand behind your back, you need to bring that back by the face first. Push the body up a little before you draw that extended arm back towards the body. And then come all the way up to a seated position. We're going to take shoelace pose now. Or there's an option to just take a cross-legged position. So if you haven't done shoelace pose before, you might want to just see where you get to with it and then maybe come back to cross legs, but I'll show you how to get into it. And a cushion can be useful for this. So you want to kind of sit in a cross-legged position with your shins in front of each other. And what we're going to do with shoelaces, we're actually going to be crossing at the thighs rather than at the shins. So we're going to take right thigh and place it over left. So I'll swap over so I'm mirroring you. So take right thigh and place it over left. The intention is that we're going to kind of walk our feet out to the side so that our knees are stacking over the top of each other in one line. And that's really quite hard on the knees. So if that's not happening, then you can just kind of see where you get to and just stop where you meet resistance. So it might be that you've just got right foot on the outside of left knee. If that's all too much, then come back to a cross-legged position. Maybe you can just rest right leg on top of left. Once you're there, we're going to take eagle arms. So options for eagle arms. The first option is we're just going to give ourselves a big hug. And we're going to take left arm first and then right arm underneath. If that feels okay, then we're going to keep our elbows on top of each other and bring backs of the hands towards each other. Final option is to wrap the forearms around each other so that palms touch. So take the option that's right for you. We're going to be here a while. So first option, hugging. Second option, backs of the hands drawing towards each other. Final option, wrapping the forearms, palms touch. If palms touch, it's nice sometimes just to rest the outside of the thumb on that third eye. So where we put our fingertips in alternate nostril breathing, just tip the chin under. It can give a nice restful quality to the pose.
You're going to feel the shoulder blades kind of peeling apart from each other, drawing forward. Doesn't matter which option you've taken because you're all working at your edge. So you're still getting exactly the same benefit of the pose. You're also with your legs in either cross-legged position or in this shoelace with the knees stacked, opening up that lower back. Might also feel it in the quads. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Notice if it's been affected by the hands or the arms wrapping around your upper chest like this. Just feel the breath flowing in and out of the chest in this posture. And very gently now, I'm going to release the arms first. Take them down to the sides of the body. And just shift your weight into your hands slightly so that you can undo the legs. Take them out in front, maybe give them a little wiggle. Give the feet a little wave from side to side. And then we're going to change the cross of the legs. So left leg is going to come on top this time. Or come, if you're in your cross-legged position, left shin is in front. If you're doing your shoelace, then you want to cross at the thighs, with left thigh crossing over right. Maybe you can kind of wiggle those feet out to the side and stack the knees on top of each other. Just wherever feels right for you and your knees and your body today. Once we've done that, we're going to bring left arm on top, right arm underneath. And we can either give ourselves a hug again. Maybe we can keep the elbows on top of each other, backs of hands come close to each other. Possibly wrap the forearms, palms touch, rest the outside of the thumb on our third eye. It's normal for one side to be stiffer than the other. Particularly if we've got old injuries or we're doing lots of desk work, or we have one arm that's being used a lot. Reconnect with your breathing, but this time draw your attention to your belly. In this upright position, notice if your belly is soft or tense. Notice it expanding when you inhale and hollowing on every exhale. Now notice if you can feel the breath right in the back of the body, with these shoulder blades peeling apart from each other. Can you feel the air flowing through the mid lungs and the upper lungs and the back of the body? Very gently now, release the arms, take them down so that hands are resting on the ground either side of the body. Shift your weight back to uncross the legs, give them another little wiggle and a shake. We're going to come into our next posture now, which is half saddle pose. So we're going to sit lengthwise on the mat. There's a few options for you to play around with. You can either sit on the cushion, or you can have the cushion resting on the ground just behind your bum, so the edge of the cushion is kind of against your bum. And what we're going to do is, we're going to place the top of the foot and the shin on the mat. So if this stands like that's going to be really difficult, you might want like a stack of cushions. So let me show you with maybe like this. You can bring yourself up really, really high, so you're almost kind of kneeling. And that might be enough for you today. So we're going to start with right leg bent, left leg extended. If you're quite comfortable and your back feels okay, then the next step is to walk the hands back, take the forearms to the mat. So you're going to feel really, really deep stretch in that quad and that hip flexor. If that feels okay, then perhaps if you really like these deep quad opening poses, you can lie all the way back, in which case we're going to rest backs of the hands on the ground above our head to open up those shoulders again. Remember that 55 to 60% of your maximum, because we're going to be here a while. Even if you're in an upright position, keep that meditative quality to this yin class today. So gaze past the tip of the nose, or close the eyes. Even if you spent the entire practice just maintaining your steady breath and moving the body with the breath, then you have practiced yoga today.
If you're in an upright position, just allow the shoulders to just relax back and down, away from the body, away from the ears. And if you need to ease off or lift your bum and your hips a little higher, it's absolutely fine to make those adjustments and then return to your breathing. You might find that whilst we've been hanging out in this pose for a while, those deep muscles and ligaments and the tissues have lengthened out. Wherever you are now, you're going to take your hands back down to the sides of your body. If your head's all the way back on the ground, you're going to need to engage your core a little bit and push those elbows into the ground before you can catch yourself and use your hands to push yourself all the way back up. You might want to kind of use your strength in your arms to lift your bum off the ground. You might need to draw that extended foot closer to the body, bend the knee. Just come out of it nice and carefully. Nice and slowly before we swap and take the other side. So right leg's going to extend this time, left leg's going to bend, top of left foot comes to the ground. We can place a load of things under our bum if we need to. And even if that extended leg is too much, you can have a little soft bend in it. Just see what you need to do on this side. If you like to bend all the way back, feel free to walk those hands away from the body. Maybe rest the elbows and the forearms on the mat. Maybe take the entire back to rest on the ground, in which case arms come overhead, backs of hands rest on the mat. Just see what that side of the body's doing. And keep in mind where you are starting from.
These quad stretches are great for people that are doing a lot of physical exercise, lots of walking. They're also a great way to reverse our normal day-to-day seated position that we take so much. So stay with it now, keep that concentration. Breathe into the stillness of this moment. Slowly and carefully, I'm going to come back up to seated. If you're lying all the way back, remember to engage the core. Just give yourself a little lift. Catch your body with your hands. Press them into the mat. You might need to draw that foot in just to give you a little bit of lift. So you can take that bent leg back out. If you've got props and things, just place them to one side. And again, you can just windscreen wiper the legs from side to side a bit. Maybe you want to extend them in front. Give them a little shake. Maybe even give the feet a shake. The circulation needs to return to that foot. And then we're going to come back into our child's pose. We're going to take a different variation of it for the shoulders this time. So once again, we've got feet touching. We don't need to take the knees too wide this time, just kind of slightly wider than hips. If you need to, you can place that prop between your bum and your feet. We're going to walk the hands away from the body. If you like to, if your head doesn't easily come down to the mat, you can grab a block or a cushion and rest your forehead on something. We're going to take our hands right up onto our fingertips. And we're going to have our forearms and our elbows and everything lifted off of the ground. And really feel that action of the shoulders drawing back and down away from the ears. You might even feel this in your lat muscles, so those are the muscles in the side of the back just below the shoulders. Kind of have that intention of drawing the arms right down into the shoulder sockets. Imagine that you've got a tennis ball under the palm of each hand. And your fingers are kind of wrapping around that tennis ball. And the fingertips are pressing into the mat.
If your fingers feel okay where they are, keep them where they are. If you need to, there is the option to make fists with the hands and just rest the knuckles into the mat. So that those are the knuckles that are midway along your finger. But keep those forearms, upper arms, elbows lifted off the ground, drawing back into the body. Just a few more breaths here. It's almost as if somebody's drawing your arms in one direction and pulling your hips in another direction. All the time sinking down into the pose. Release this palm. Walk them back towards the body. We don't need to come all the way up here because our final yin pose is going to be embryo pose. So your knees are going to touch. You're going to take your head back down to the mat or that prop. If you're using a prop, you might need to bring it closer towards your knees. You want a really nice curl to the spine. We're going to take backs of the hands, rest them on the mat either side of our feet so that our fingers are kind of able to tickle the outer edges of our feet. And our shoulders are just going to drape forward. I'm just going to rest here. Really let go of any tension now. Feel the air on those fingertips as your fingers are just really soft and relaxed and gently curling in towards the palm. Feel completely held by the floor beneath you. Completely grounded in this present moment.
You can relinquish any effort in this pose. Just take a few more cycles of breath here just to rest. And very gently, in your own time, use your hands to push into the ground. Slowly uncurl that spine all the way up to a seated posture. Just let the eyes closed and just take a few moments in this seated posture just to close that yin practice down. Take a few deep breaths through the nose. And take that body scan one more time. Really notice those little niggly areas. Have you been able to soothe them and calm them with this practice? Any tension or stiffness been eased? And then gently blink the eyes open. Come back into the room. We're going to move on to our meditation practice this week. So we're going to be sitting for 5 or 10 minutes, so if you need warm clothes. We weren't mega dynamic in yin, obviously, but you might need to put a jumper on, preferably the right way around. So we've done loads of different kinds of meditations over the last few Wednesdays. We've done quite a few different meditations, which has given you a real flavour of all the different tools and techniques there are out there to practice meditating. Today we are going to start a monthly meditation practice, and we're going to do a really simple mantra meditation. So loads of people use different mantras. There are so many. One of my favourite inspirations for mantra meditation is the stand-up comic Jerry Seinfeld, who says that you've got to take your mind and run it around a track a few times before you can really focus and concentrate. So the same way that we have to exercise our body, we have to exercise our mind. So we're going to silently repeat a mantra in our mind, and the mantra that we're going to repeat is Hum Sa. And it's quite an ancient mantra. There's loads of information about it, which I can share later if you want. But it literally translates as I am that, or I am here. So it's very much about coming into the present moment, as a lot of meditation is. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to sit in a comfortable position. It doesn't need to be cross-legged. You can be sitting in a chair, on your sofa, with your back against the wall. Our hands are either going to be in your kind of traditional yoga mudra, with index fingers and thumbs touching, backs of the hands on knees. Or you can go Buddhist option, which is resting your more active hand in your less active hand and then placing them in your lap. So whatever your preference is. You're going to allow your eyes to close, and you're going to return to that slow, steady breathing. Just notice the breathing. Don't do anything to it now. Just feel your breath. We're going to attribute the hum sound to an inhale and the sa sound to an exhale. So for me, this feels like hum, sa, hum, sa, hum, sa. So hear that in your own voice, internally, with your own natural breath. You're going to continue this for a few more minutes on your own. Hum, sa, I am here. Hum, sa. If your mind wanders and you realise that you've drifted off and you've stopped the mantra, just allow your mind to gently come back. No judgment, no frustration.
opportunity now to finish your practice, resting in savasana for a few minutes. If you want to take that option to relax and lie down now, or you can have a few more minutes in this meditation. We've done 6 minutes so far. So yogi's choice here. You can either rest in shavasana lying on the ground, or you can meditate a little longer before we finish. If you're resting, you can let that mantra go. Very gently now, bring your awareness back into your body. Take really gentle movements. You might need to lick the lips or roll the head. Move your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, take the feet to touch. Reach the arms overhead. Take a big inhale like you're doing a great big yawn. And exhale, slowly roll over onto your right hand side, supporting the head. Keep the eyes closed for a little longer as you bring yourself back up to sitting. Take the hands into prayer position. Tuck the chin. Blink the eyes open slowly. And namaste, everybody. Thank you very much.